Oh. How's it going, everyone? This is episode 2 of Active Reload, and it is Crream, the one and only. And tonight I'm joined by Arctic, Gandhi, and DeFace. Yuli will not be on tonight, stuck with some work issues pretty much. And we're going to open it up tonight with what is good Gears of War? And Charlie, that was all you, so what do you want to start it off with it?
What's up, guys? The Face X, just jumping on Active Reload Live. How y'all feeling tonight? So, we jumped in this morning, or I guess, yeah, within the last 15 minutes. We got to get the questions running. I guess right off the top of the rip, what is good Gears of War? Like we have these websites that are throwing 100-team tournaments. Where are those teams at? Where are those people that are trying to rise up and be the best kind of thing? What is that good play style? What's really good? What is good Gears of War?
I think it should go to Kendall. I think Kendall's the one who does the most YouTube content, so I think Kendall should know better than everyone.
What is good Gears of War? Competitive-wise, I think good Gears of War is, and we kind of touched on it a little bit last week. Last week we talked about a lot of different things, but I brought up that issue when you see two teams playing that are experienced and two teams playing that are inexperienced. 9 times out of 10, the team that's more experienced has more exciting gameplay. So I think from a viewer standpoint, good Gears of War is watching two top teams go at it, whether it be, in ranked or competitive, MLG, game battles, whatever tournaments are going around, hype. I think that's good Gears of War. And then what also adds pieces to that puzzle is, great commentators, because those are the people that educate everyone else and fill in all the holes that, people viewing can't really get. So I think it's a two-way thing. I think, the players having the knowledge of the game, how to play it, how to understand it, how to be better, how to continue to improve and evolve it. And then, the commentators also make up that other piece of the puzzle.
For me, personally, it would have to be not slow. As long as it's just, you have your very, like Mercy, like you have your 3-1 push, fight in the church, in comes the smokes, guy comes around the corner with the fucking ink grenade, everything's just working out, it's chaos. But there, underneath all the chaos, there is a secret order. And the people who actually know about the game actually sit there and they're like, oh, well, he actually pushed this way for a reason. He had right hand, so he held that. That, to me, is good Gears of War. There's nothing I hate more than when both teams just sit like at the 20% of the map on different sides, just like sitting there waiting. Can't stand it. Not for me.
To me, good Gears of War, anything that's not Gears 2. I mean, it was such a slow-paced game, and that's why I'm hoping the game keeps up the way it's going with King of the Hill and everything. It's just really fast-paced. The only time I'm worried is on some execution maps it can kind of slow down. I know Mercy, when they go in church, like you just said, that's crazy Gears of War, in-your-face action. But then there's the other Mercy where they go outside, and one team goes Bell, one team goes Wine, and then nobody moves.
Yeah.
And that's the bad Gears.
So, does that necessarily mean, what if teams can't really
Adjust to that speed of play?
Adjust to that speed of play, or what if the maps in themselves or the weapon swaps or whatever are also a part of the problem? Then, I think that's also something to think about in terms of what makes teams good. That ability to say, hey, this is what we need to do to adjust to get better. Can they do that? Are they capable of doing that as players? And from a design standpoint, I think, are the maps good enough to have that dynamic, style of play that we all like to enjoy, that fast-paced Gears of War that we, got used to in Gears 1.
Yeah, I guess with the new maps, and I guess there's a ton of downloadable content and whatnot coming out, so I guess that kind of makes it a little bit more difficult, knowing that you have this certain set of maps that you have to worry about with and then I guess a constant DLC package coming, so we're getting ready to see another 4 or 5 maps come out here within the next month and a half.
Yeah,
we don't count escalation, so yeah, 4 maps.
yeah.
What's wrong with escalation? No. See, already off on the bandwagon. What's wrong with that map? Come on, you can tell me you didn't have a good time running up and down them stairs.
No,
Voltox for the win.
no.
All right.
I mean, yeah, you got
Alright.
Phoenix Rising's coming out. Where is it? I actually have this on the 17th this month, and 4 maps because escalation's not going to work. So I mean, we'll see. I mean,
What are some of the maps?
it's Academy, Anvil, Depths, and the Slab.
Yeah, I think the most interesting one out of all of that in terms of fast-paced action, like I knew Rustlung when I saw it, when I got a look at it, how small it was, and I was like, man, this could be a good King map. The way Slab sounds kind of reminds me of how Rustlung sounded, so I think that could be potentially a good King map. So we'll see. It's
And
supposed to be
let's say for example, I know that everybody is kind of already weaned out of from the team deathmatch kind of thing. What if these maps are actually going to be good enough to actually sustain the game itself, or the spawns are right? Does team deathmatch come back into play? Does it become a factor?
I think just to jump in, I know Artek, I like when you have your big, powerful mind working, so I'll give you time. For me, I think we have what right now? We have 3 King of the Hills. I think we could take away if we just had one TDM where it just worked flawlessly. I think every round I could easily see just one TDM being in every 5-game series. I don't think that would be a problem.
If there was to be one TDM, what would it be? If there was
well,
to be one. I mean, I know we've gone down the list on the reasons why it doesn't work, but if there were to be one, where are we headed with that?
I think it's close. I think it's between the obvious two are Old Town Trenches, but the hype settings for Trenches make it really good, and I haven't played that. I'm sorry, for the King of the Hill hype settings for Trenches make it really good, but I haven't played that weapon swap with TDM. So I don't know. Trenches. I mean, I always felt like Trenches was potentially a good TDM map. Obviously, people hate the top control, but you put Digger down low in cave. You throw those nades in middle. I don't know. I think it's I think it's viable at that point. It plays out really good.
So we have Incense Ink, Digger, and then another grenade on the ground. Incense
The
Ink,
frag grenades
or
are
frag,
where frag
where
grenades
Digger
are
would
where.
spawn,
Yep.
and put Digger downstairs with the sawed off.
Yeah.
And you said you haven't ran them. Crream, have you had the opportunity to check them out?
I have not, dude. My team, if we are a team, we haven't played in like a month, so
Right on. We'll keep up with the active reload. Anybody out
You
there
know,
in the stream, have you guys had the opportunity to give them a go?
I've watched King of the Hill played on it numerous times, and the Digger does take away from that top control, and I think I don't know. I think everyone has just rolled out TDM, so it would take like a brand new map from DLC to come out for anyone to even give it a chance.
I mean, I just want to see how it plays with the Digger there, because that's the one spot on Trenches that just I always hated about Trenches. The one dude up there with his Lancer that has infinite bullets, just constantly hitting everyone all over the map, no matter where you are. And it was just it was annoying, to say the least.
And because the Digger was in middle, he had line of sight on it.
Mhm.
If whoever at top hill, so it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Try to hit him with inks that you can't see. You blind throwing inks up there at the hill. So, like I said, with this new swap, I think with Digger down low, it makes it a little bit better. And a lot of people, at least a lot of people in the competitive community, should know about the Digger shot through the ground that shoots right up there. So,
And remember, Scott, at that first Hype Fest station, I guess I guess the former LTZ, they were already on top of that strat at one point in time, practicing shooting that Digger up through there. So I guess that's kind of neat, just to see the game kind of evolve, and especially where Trenches has come from, from the very beginning to where it's at right now.
And Pete is in the chat. I'm pretty sure. I want to know from Pete what is his favorite map so far for the Phoenix Rising DLC? Because I mean, I feel like Pete knows competitive gears. I think he knows some good matches, and he's been following us for a while. So Pete, can you let us know what map that you enjoy the most for the Phoenix Rising DLC? Let's see.
This is quite interesting, to be honest.
Let's see. He's in here.
Pete.
Maybe he just threw
He
it
said
up there.
Slab.
And was like,
Slab is fun.
What's it like? If you can make a comparison of
Academy is the
what
shit.
Slab is like.
He said Academy is the shit though. So Slab and Academy,
Eh.
Yeah, he said
maybe.
Slab, and then he went Academy. I guess, and then going way back to the way back, with this new DLC content pack coming out, is there any straight up power weapon contact-to-contact weapons? You know, whether we have one snipe in one, one part of the map and a snipe on the other. You know, to where them guys can meet up, or
Yeah.
to torque bow. You know, those guys meeting up is like a power weapon on power weapon contact.
Yeah, I do like, the boom shot on some of these maps, but I think, a snipe-on-snipe map would be pretty fucking gnarly to watch.
Right,
That
and then
we
again, I guess
don't.
it comes. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
We don't have a snipe on snipe map, do we? Yet?
Yeah.
Azura. I mean, we don't have it in competitive. You know, obviously Azura is huge, and the one team that we played against on Azura, this is back when Callie was still playing with us, so when we were still in our the heat of our competitive, I guess, mode or whatever. But we played the Fathering on Azura, and it wasn't bad. The size of it is kind of misleading, but it wasn't bad. So I think in the direction of where Epic might be going with some of the future DLC maps in terms of making TDM work, I think they're going to make the maps bigger, just because that space allows for less, spawn trapping, and less issues with, I don't want to say camping, but just the flow of the game might be a little bit better. But it could, at the competitive level, you never know how people are going to end up playing it. So, they might just run around the map all day, so you can't get killed. So it's hard to say how that would play out. But Azura is not bad, but that's the only dual sniper map that I can think of that was added recently.
Yeah, and even with that sniper to sniper, I mean, the only real opportunities you're getting on that is, pretty much right upon weapon pickup, and then right when you tuck down that alleyway to see if you can catch him with his pants down. But other than that, it really like you said, the map's so big that it allows them to just run around and just kind of disappear. What a good sniper should be doing, but that contact was almost null.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even 5-on-5, the map's big. I mean,
Yeah.
it's too much open space.
Yeah. Oh, and then you know what? Going over to Clock Tower, Kyle or Kale, I'm sorry about that. You've had the opportunity to scrim on it. What do you think about the boom placement actually behind the truck? Rather than up and in it. So you have to go through that sandbag, and then you have to go through that lane. And it's a real narrow lane on both sides of that car. There's some of that cover that you can't get across. Well, what's up with it?
From what I've played so far, and the teams that we played, we've seen a couple different strats. One of the things I was most concerned with it being out so far was teams Lancer heavy, going Lancer heavy, and not trying to push for it because that Lancer's so strong. And it hasn't really been as bad as I thought it was going to be. You still see a lot of teams pushing out there, depending on if you can get good smokes or not. But surprisingly, I've seen a few more teams that now that we've scrim able to utilize the Lancer out there more than I want them to, I guess. I prefer to have that shotgun fight right there at the mid because you can, if you put 4 down, you can kind of get angles and stuff. But you can have one guy sitting on the back steps, one guy sitting in the little cubby, one guy sitting at the top of the balcony. So there's a lot of stuff in terms of crossing that is kind of hit or miss on that map. But it's not bad. It's
So
not bad.
safe,
It's better than some of the other ones.
safe to say that map's definitely coming down to the initial contact rather than thought out strategy, or do you think there's an actual
It's probably
strategy
like
to it?
60-40 right now. From what I've experienced so far.
I mean, I've seen, the only thing that, normally teams run, there's like 3 strategies. They either run a top, so the 3-1 heavy up top,
Yep.
and then, as you're rounding up there, you just have that guy sit at that first initial tree. But everyone who's rounding up, they're going to get into a fight up top, and then one guy's just going to peer over and try to lay down some fire. But normally every time, I've never seen like a 3-1 happen, and then like a 4-man or a 3-man push towards boom. Normally it's like a 2-2 split. But from what I've seen, all you have to do, where the pillar arches or whatever, you just throw that smoke grenade there, and you hit the other team with the smoke, and then people just kind of run with their hand on their head as they're stunned, and they just pull out their shotgun, and then it's a one-on-one battle for a fucking boom shot. That's the standard play. Crream, You were actually there. You were how pissed were you when you watched it?
I was pretty pissed. It was,
He was
eh,
he was like, dude, this is not Clock Tower, man. I can't believe it.
it
There's
broke
a
my heart.
four-man rush for Boom Shot. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
I know. Like on Clock Tower, I'm used to like 3-1 every single time, and the
Yeah.
occasional,
When you
you
say
know,
3-1, we're talking 3-1 up top, and
yeah,
they're
Up
three
top.
three
that far
top,
away
one
from
low,
it.
and then like on bad side, the Insanes really implemented on bad side back in the day. Two guys up top and two low, and one would get like nades or something and come back. But it's just like now, like I don't know if people are just playing it sloppy, but I just see a lot of teams just kind of making an all-out rush for boom and not really even trying up top. It's just weird.
The difference with when we think about Clock Tower and Gears 1, that active down on the sniper was huge. So
Huge.
if you got that snipe, you run back to balcony, and even if a team tried to get out there, you might get one active down. You kind of wait, kind of wait, kind of wait. He gets up, you get another active down, kind of wait, and then that third one, he's out, and it's like, well, that was a wasted boom effort. And now it's like you got to get a headshot. If you don't get the headshot, then they got boom, and then you're fucked. So that's the difference. That's the biggest difference, I think.
Yeah, so a lot of sitting, a lot of waiting, and then finally they say, "Yo, we're gonna get Clock Tower," and how excited you possibly get, and then it's just like, it's nice,
Yeah.
It looks nice.
yeah. But Rustlong's cooler.
Wrestling's the shit.
Yeah. I
It
love
is
wrestling.
fantastic. I actually watched a team. I actually casted. It was Fly Society versus SYN. I want to say it was. Correct me if I'm wrong on the teams. I'm sorry, but the team who actually controlled the Silverback ended up blowing it because they got two Silverback heavy.
Hmm.
So like instead of going for the L, they just sat in that Silverback and they were racking up kills. But the other team was just sitting there like, right there, man, we're in the middle. It was
Yeah.
awesome because everyone always complains like, oh, all you have to do is get in Silverback and win. It's over. I don't think so. I've actually yet to see the Silverback be like that dominant with a team who actually can throw a smoke. Like as long as you are able to throw a smoke decently, the Silverback is not that big of a deal from what I've seen.
Yeah, I've only seen the Silverback really abuse people when they let it abuse them. And then, of course, the team that gets abused by it, they're flipping out like, oh, we lost because of the Silverback. And it's like, no, you lost because you played like idiots. That's why you lost.
You lost because you were having three guys run at the Silverback.
Yeah, like you're trying to like melee a Silverback, getting all close to it. What are you doing?
Get out of there. Go wash your hands.
Face, what's
Get back
your
on the
take?
hill.
What's your take on wrestling? I mean, you are a very opinionated man. I want to know.
Yeah, look, from day one, I played Rustlong and was like, yeah, this is happening. It's an absolute killer. When the hills go to spawns kind of thing, you have three different entrances that include both windows and a doorway kind of thing. So, I mean, they're easily breakable. That middle hill, there's hills 1, 2, 3 right in the middle, and I mean that's just where all the head in, head out action goes. And then you have to hit the torpedo bays and whatnot as well. So I mean it's like everybody has to have their own separate responsibility to make sure that there's appropriate cover on the map and move about the ship and get your gibs in.
Yeah. I agree with that for the most part. The only two hills that you can really get a lot of control on are those two ink hills. That's where you want to get the meat of your time, or the opening hill. Because what I've found a lot now with King, from what we've experienced so far, is that opening hill is like make or break between the two teams that win. Because if they're going back and forth, it's usually on that first hill. Because if everyone gets wiped, everyone on your team gets wiped and they get control of that first hill, that's like 30, 40 points. And then after that, it's kind of a scramble on Russ from what I've played so far. But I love the map. I think it's one of the best maps from that DLC that we got.
Nice. I do like hearing things like that. That's awfully cool. I'm glad you think of it that way. Now, have you thought, I guess coming off of initial contact, I mean, how do you guys normally play it out? Is it all out to the hill, secure the hill kind of thing, or is it a 3-1, put a guy somewhere on nades to try to make a play elsewhere, to control the map? Are you guys strictly hill dominant, or
It's kind of been
spread out?
from what we've played, and again, since we got Daughter now, we've been kind of going back to square one. But from how we've played to this point now, we sent two people at control right in the middle at the mulcher. And then we had send two people out towards the hill itself at the opening. one person grabs the ink, the other guy runs straight for the nades, and that seems to be kind of like the standard right now. It seems like people are kind of splitting between running inside control and then kind of sitting around on that big bow and waiting to see, okay, are the people in the middle going to lose? Are they going to win? What am I going to do? Am I going to cross? And then you got that ink guy. The ink it hasn't been a factor yet, but there's a few teams that have been inking middle, and there's a few teams that have been inking the hill. And I feel like the teams that are inking middle are getting better support, I guess, to the people that are fighting in there for control versus inking the hill, because there's usually no one there.
Nice. All right. So now what?
Yeah, Kenny.
Now
What's up?
what?
Kenny,
Now,
it's your show.
whoa! 1 second.
For one, yeah. See, I like the way you just hit that attack. 1 second, everything's just going smooth, kind of thing, and then the next, you just dumping it all right back on Kenny.
Yeah,
Oh, it's cool,
Kenny's sitting there. He's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna take a sip of my water. Like I'm happy." And he's like, "Yeah, the show's going great. I didn't have to put anything together. Like we're still here." And then he gets thrown on the spot. And he's like, I was hoping Face would throw another question out there. He was doing so well before."
Yeah, I know. I guess we can reach out to the stream. You know what's going on, guys? All 229 of you. I guess you can check out KonasCorner.com for the active reload replay.
I know.
What's up? What's going on out there?
I had one question from Uproar. I know we brought it up earlier before we started, and he wanted to know if any of the pro players, if they do have any sort of rituals to get ready for events, or that they do at events.
Arctic first.
Me first. I'm trying to think if I have anything that I do. Oh, well, okay, it's not really a ritual, but you guys know, like, all the venues are always super cold. And I get cold really easy. Like, my hands will literally get numb, like my thumbs, or the tips of my finger. So I usually like this. This isn't like a ritual, but I just like pack like extra Under Armour, and I usually put it under my jersey. So I don't know if that's really a ritual, but I like playing really hot. So even if it's like 75 degrees inside the venue, which it never is, it's like 50. I always have like a super warm thermal or Under Armour on.
Why don't you invest in hot hands?
Because, well, Skyless does, so I guess that's a ritual. Skyless invests in hot hands. He gets hand warmers every event. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might bum some of his every once in a while. So I guess for the ritual for that, I know that our team does. He gets hand warmers. That's like it. I don't know. That's all I got.
So
What about you? I know. Face or Gandhi. I know you have one. I know you have one, Gandhi.
I don't.
Yeah, he's got.
Yeah, you do.
I actually have these things laying all over my gaming rig, kind of thing. It's I'm on top of a one-story building, kind of thing, and it's standalone. And I swear to God, it is like the Arctic in here. No pun intended, KO. But so those hand warmers they've really come in pretty good needs, especially with my hands. They lock up pretty good. I get, what is it? A couple. Before you shake your peg, or no matter how many times you shake your peg, you always get a couple drips down your leg. So I'm always a pregame piss kind of guy, and it's always just a couple trickles kind of thing, But that's just one of them things that clear me up.
I actually took a different approach. I used to play when I played. I used to actually play with my room freezing cold. Like so in the winter, like the all season, I would just open up this window and I have another window right there. My setup's right there. I would just let it filter in and play with my hands freezing cold.
Yeah, right.
So then, I swear to God,
somebody just completely booting you across the side of your head. How can you play with your hands so?
Makes you play better once you get there. Once it gets hot, I don't know. Superstition is something. I also used to have to wrap my controller. So like with the S types back in the day, you know how there's the bumps.
Yeah.
There's like the little bumps on the controller. I used to wrap it so I didn't lose the bumps, because if I lost the bumps, it was over. And it's the same way with the 360 controller. I can't play with one without the bumps. I can't do it.
So
That's about it. That's all
That's it.
There's not really. It's not like if we could like gather like raw talent and figure out like what goes on in the huddle. I
Yeah,
think.
I
I'm
was.
Yeah.
It's so funny you brought that up because I was getting ready to ask what that huddle was all about too, Kenny. I know you're all about it.
I'm not all
Yeah, you're
about
all
it.
about it, aren't you? You see it like
No,
all the time.
And there's
King of the
pictures.
Couch.
There's pictures to prove it. So what's that all about? How's that feel?
I'm not all about that huddle. I was forced into that huddle, wanted nothing to do with it. But
What?
What is said in the huddle?
I don't even remember. It's just
Oh,
like
you
a
remember?
mix
Those words,
of
I guarantee, just bleed right
Yeah.
through your brain.
what?
He's got it tattooed on his lower back.
Yo, Matt, can you imagine just Kenny in the huddle and he lifts up his sleeve and he's like, "All right, guys, this is how it's gonna be," and he starts reading off the wrist.
I mean, it's usually,
You
huh?
gotta let us know. You can't.
It's usually just Immortal, just talking and giving like a little pep talk and making sure everybody's good, nobody's worried, nervous. And I always just kind of stood there silent, just just let it go, no big deal. But
That's actually not a bad idea.
I mean, it works. I remember, what was it, back in the day on TLR, which is ages ago. Their Rainbow team actually, they had like every match they would have a little prayer right before with Red Dot. I don't know if anybody knows him, but
Yeah,
I remember.
I know those guys.
yeah, that's what they did. I mean, not a lot of teams I've really seen have rituals.
Rituals? Well, the Insanes have sex with each other before every.
Just that too, right hand to God, their pictures out there, and it's definitely.
I had to say it. I had to say it.
You
Like
did not. You did not just say that.
I
Where
love
does that
those
come? Can I get this
but-
story? I have no idea what this is.
Killa, Gabriel, Predator. I've seen some pretty. Even Distortion isn't Distortion in one of the man pictures, the naked man pictures that we've seen?
That is one thing you cannot bring up on the show right there. I'm going to go ahead and have to drop the censor bar on this conversation right now.
Oh man. So yeah, they do their little the group hugging at night. That's the Insanes. Someone has to link that picture. Yeah, Skylar's just said that. Someone has to find that picture because I know it's out there.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Like, I
This
wish I
is
did.
2008, 2009. There was a lot of disturbing activity with the Insanes in their rooms before events.
I
That's all I know.
guarantee. I'm on Predator's Facebook right now. I guarantee I find one.
Yo, Kenny's got the creeper face on too, man. Like, I knew he was on Facebook.
I gotta
As soon
find
as he
one. Like,
was
there's
on
gotta
the
be
site.
one somewhere. All I gotta say is when Predator was on my team, there was no, all right, there was no cuddling or anything like that.
Hey, here's what I want to know. What the hell does Atmo do? What the hell does Atmo do before he
Come
plays?
on,
'Cause
bro.
that
You know what he does.
ruined
That guy completely zones everybody out, takes off to the rearest exit with 3 cigarettes in hand and steams them down, and then jumps back on and just goes God tier.
Thanks, dude. He's something else.
Yeah, I don't know about any. I know the Insanes, raw talent. They got the huddle. I don't remember. Did NBN have anything? I don't think they did.
I'm not sure.
Well, I remember Carvin at Hype had one, and they showed up like this. I don't know what we're doing here. We played like twice.
We didn't have
They
a
laid excuses out before they even got beat.
ritual. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what's going on out there in the stream? What do you guys got? What kind of rituals you got? Give me the first 3 so we can talk about them a little bit.
I got one
Hey,
photo.
you want to see this picture? You
Oh,
have.
that's all I got. It was on Nick's. That's all I got. And that's enough. I'm not digging anymore.
What happened? Where did that come from? All right, well,
So
that's that.
terrible pic. I still haven't seen the picture yet, kind of thing. I'm kind of wondering if I'm far behind, but that is crazy. Pre-game dumps. That's not the first time I heard that. Gullerback, you're just on a whole nother level.
Oh, I know Giller. Damn troll.
Damn troll. So what's up, KL, ZYN? You guys picked up Daughter, huh? Is that the official crew you guys are banging with for Hype Fest Station?
And that is the official crew that we are rolling with at Hype. We sent out a SOS pretty much after Cali North let us know that he wouldn't be able to go, and had some interesting responses and people, messaging us. And Skyless was like, he looked at Dotter, what he had done. I mean, we know who Dotter is. He's been around the community for a while, so he's a good pickup. He's a nice dude. He fits well with us, and that's the biggest thing with me is like finding people that have the personality that meshes well with our team because we are pretty relaxed and we're not one of the people that likes. I personally don't like drama, and I was always raised with the mindset of peace and quiet, and it's not that we're quiet necessarily, but that peace state of mind, that Zen state of mind is. He fits well. That's us. So
Nice, that's good. And now you said you put out an SOS. And I'm sure you dropped that out on the forums, et cetera, et cetera. But was there did you get a numerous amount of responses kind of thing? I mean, come on. You put out an SOS for ZYN needs one for hype. I can only imagine that the emails from YouTube and everywhere else you posted it out came pouring in.
I was pretty discreet about it, to be honest. I didn't want to make it like a big deal. We posted one thing on Gal Nation forums and got some. We got messages sent to us on Xbox Live, and then some people posted in the thread. It's probably about maybe 20 people or so that said they were interested. So,
All right, cool. And that's good. Just pick up data just based on how he's performed over the last since '08 or '07, whatever it is, and just moved on.
yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Made it really simple.
Yep. What's up, Kenny?
I got-
Top 4 for Hype Fest Station.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, this isn't the official one because you'll be
Wow.
allowed to change your mind in 2 weeks.
Top 4
when the
hype.
show back
I
on,
mean,
but what up?
everything has changed so much. Obviously, Infinity is going to be in there. I mean, unless they royally just fuck up. I mean, they're the only team that didn't change, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the only team that didn't change. I mean, unless they really screw up, which, I mean, it happens. I've seen shit like that happen before, so you don't know. But, I mean, you got them. I'm not sure about the new Insanes, to be honest. I mean, it's like 3 hosts on one team. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
MBN is all like it's MBN. I'm also iffy on. I mean, they can, but I'm not sure. Like we talked about last week, I don't know how Fallout fits there. Like I do not know how he works on that team. Wow.
How have NBN scrims been? I haven't been able to watch Nick play usually because we're playing at the same time, and I'm gonna keep a stream going. But how have they been? Like, how do they look?
I remember when High Distortion first came back from vacation, they kind of got slapped around by Fly Society. Granted, people have their little doubts about Fly Society, but number one, that's my surprise team for Hype. I think they're gonna come in and fucking literally start slapping people, but that's neither here nor there. They do look good though. The most recent one was probably a couple of days ago, and they were going against. Blank, but they look good. They're starting to get their shit together. It really all relies on if Fallout makes the right play or not. That's from what I've noticed because every map they kind of run like a 3-1, and their 3 is going to be Nick, High Distortion, and Prospect. So Fallout gets the 1 in the majority of the maps. Now with that said, it's either he plays it slow and he doesn't get banged, or he gets banged. But he was playing really well the last time, and he proved me wrong for having any doubts about him being picked up.
Well, that was cute.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
I definitely want to see Fly Society do big things. I mean, they're a cool bunch of guys. I've known them for a minute. SYG with the new pickup of Mence, I'm almost positive. That should be kind of interesting.
Oh,
Chubbs,
really?
Chubbs is like an outstanding player. And Mence just being the big dude that he is kind of thing, could just stand up and give you a little intimidation. Although you're a pussy, Mence, you know what I'm saying? But you know I love you.
All right, well, I got a question for you, Face.
Infinity, of course. Go ahead. Drop down your knowledge, Scott. What up?
SYN got their hands on Nasty. What do you think? How do you think they will?
You know how that goes. SYN Nazi, unbelievable player, IMO. The guy does something. The guy is modding. The guy is playing with an IXM3. He is doing something crazy, but no, rest aside, yeah, the guy's a good dude. Hopefully their team shows up and does big things. Hopefully damage points. I, Damage points somehow weaseled his way into 3 god-tier GB dudes, and I guess now they're tearing assholes. So, I mean, good on them. You know what I'm saying? Good on you, DP. Good on you for whatever you want to do, or however you're going to do it. So, looking forward to big things from there. Now, here's the big thing. I mean, obviously there hasn't been any major events except for Hype, and, I was the mouthpiece there along with you, Scott. So it's like, there's a huge difference between playing scrims and then sitting down in a chair across from 4 other dudes and literally press and play and going. There's such a huge difference, and that's just one of the things that I've really noticed over the last couple months. I mean, literally, you sit down, you press play, and you go, and it's either you do everything right or you make one little mistake and it all goes wrong. And that is honestly how it's going to go. You're literally like on a map like Trenches, or I take that back. On a map like King of the Hill Dry Dock, you die once initially, you were going to come back on the map 3 more times before the game is over. I mean, it's literally, it just happens in the blink of an eye. So I mean, you really just have to sit down and be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. It's definitely.
I'll tell you who the team who actually is surprising is the Fathering. They have been kicking some major ass recently in the scrims, and. Yeah. I still am confused with Carson's. It's not that he's bad. I just never saw that actually happening. But he seems to be fitting well. I wouldn't. You are right though. Come land time, anything can fucking happen. Anything.
It's true. And
with this game being new, I mean, to be honest, no one has any idea what to even expect out of ZYN. I mean, raw talent could perhaps. Never mind.
Damn, that's twice I've seen you baseball talent.
Oh man,
what's up, Scott? What's up, dude? You got some resentment built up in there, or what?
Man, for me personally, I can't put them in the talks of the top 6 if they're losing NJ Halos to pickup teams. That's just me, man. That's all I'm saying.
You got a point.
I mean, Crream, you cast it, right? Like,
yeah, I casted the whole thing.
Come on.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying they're not individually talented. I'm saying that to put them in the talks of the top 6, they should be winning those.
This is the thing with raw talent. Raw talent, similar to the Insanes. Well, I don't really know the new Insanes. I mean, like the older Insanes when it was, Nick and Predator and all them. But I mean, they're really more teamwork based. As soon as you broke them down individually, they fell apart. But raw talent's even weaker at that point. So I mean, what happened at the NJ Halo was you had Ribs, Flames, Supra, and even Deadly. Deadly just wanted to beat them. Because, all that little saltiness from getting dropped and all that. He just wanted to beat him, and he finally did. But, Ribs, Super, and Flames, they just broke him apart.
And that's true, too. But then again, you also, I mean, come on, man. They pretty much were told, you guys have one map, pick right now, and it's a win or lose for X amount of dollars.
They didn't have one map. They got absolutely destroyed on Trenches.
I understand. Come on,
destroyed.
It
wasn't even close. I'm pretty sure it was 240 to 16.
They got beat pretty bad. I mean, I watched it and I was just like, ooh.
That was my first real experience. I actually had I had the pleasurable seat right behind J Ribs as he got in and out of that mech suit and literally was just tearing ass apart. I mean, it was it's super. He had to sit in the hill and just wait for dudes to just up A right into his shotgun. I mean, it got pretty brutal.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, even Ribs with the Silverback, they were salty in here. Ribs is in here saying, blame it on Rustlung because they did. But, that Silverback, like we explained last week when we talked about it, I think we brought it up, they just let him sit in it the whole time. And, they would smoke him out finally. I'm like, all right, yeah, they smoked him out. They woke up. And then they flush him out or kill him. And just leave the Silverback and go to the hill. And Ribs spawns. He's like, "Oh, Silverback, sweet," and just hops right back in. And that's all that he was. I think he was the only one in the Silverback the whole time.
That's
pretty much.
Not good. You know what? Actually, I want to get your guys' opinions on this. The big grudge match is coming into Hype. This is pretty much the first tournament coming back. The one that I have highlighted is going to be Ambition versus I always forget the other team name. It's Deadly and Evade's team. Does anyone?
Octagon? Love Octagon? Or is that Blaze's squad?
Ambition
Blaze's
is
team is
Blazes.
Blaze's squad is Ambition.
Blazes is Ambition, and then it's Deadly and
Lethal
Evade's team.
Injections, boy.
Lethal Injections.
You know I
Yeah.
would
Oh,
forget.
they're bringing that back?
You're on the tip of my tongue.
Yep. I'm pumped for that match. I think it's gonna. I think it could happen round 1 too, depending on how the brackets work. We haven't had the seeds or anything released, but that would be a great way to kick off the fucking Hype 2 weekend.
That will be
Face,
good.
I know I can see it in your face. You're like, yeah.
Someone
good.
just threw in BVV. I always forget about them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's always in the back of my mind. But whenever I see them, I get reminded of those dudes are pretty good. And I think a lot of people forget that that they could. I think they could surprise some people when they go out to Hype. So
Yeah.
that
People
might
in
be
the
an
stream right
interesting
now
one.
are saying MBN versus the Insane.
Yeah, I was just
But,
gonna bring that
to be
up.
honest, I'm not. I don't look at that as a grudge match at all. You know, with Predator leaving the game, with Wildebeest being picked up, with Noah. I'm sorry, I can't think of his gamer tag right off the top of my head. Prison. You know that's not going to be one of those matchups that I'll be super excited to see.
Really?
I'm more excited to see MBN versus Infinity than I am Insanes versus anyone, honestly, because that's just not the same Insanes team. You cannot say that is even close to the same. Even with Prison, who's been out of the game for how long? I mean, he hasn't really played a whole lot. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the same Prison that we're going to see back in '09 when he was playing nonstop, banging people. But it's just not the same Insanes, and I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed when they play. I mean, I want to see them do well, but it's just not the same group.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement to that kind of thing. And you figure with Prison just pretty much, I know he hasn't been out the game for so long, but I mean, just coming back in and being fathered by the 3 members of his team kind of thing to really learn on the ropes. Is he going to get that detrimental experience that he needs to be that top tier God 1 player again? You know, because the guy does have a proven track record for being the best or the best of on any given team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fly Society versus Infinity. You know, God bless you if you guys get that matchup again. You know, I know. There's a couple guys over there that have that personal grudge. You know, with them saying, "Damn, we might have an opportunity to bang them again, or at least get an opportunity to get in bed with them."
I want to see how they play on LAN. I don't think I've ever seen anyone from Fly Society at an event. I could be wrong.
Well, you got
Caution.
Well, caution, but I mean like the rest of the team. Have they been to events? I haven't seen Baird. Has he?
Baird's been doing an event.
I suck then, but
Barely positive.
yeah, I just want to see them play. Like, because I know they've been doing good online, but I want to see them play at a major event as a team. Because that's always the biggest factor. I've seen so many teams like do amazing online, and then like that first big event comes, and like they don't even crack into the top 16.
Yeah.
And don't forget, I mean, Ambition is a beastly pickup. I mean, Fly Society. Ambition with Bobby Rice, Enterprise, and Kenny alone, make the team obviously strong with Kenny being their main slayer. And then, like I said, it's literally going to come down to Blaze whether he's on or whether he's off. You know, whether his team is shaking his damn head about him or whether he's going to come in and bang. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. I remember for my first time, I didn't really think, like I knew of Kenny just from the forums. He's one of those players that could really, really change the dynamic for a team. Like he could completely turn the swing and they can get right back into the minimum. So if he's not playing well and then Blaze isn't playing well, I don't know. But if Kenny's on like he was, oh boy. Oh boy.
I mean,
he was making it exciting. He was making it exciting to watch them play.
Does anyone else kind of have like a question mark on Blaze? You know what I mean? I feel like he should be really good at this game. Like, with his track record and the amount of time he puts in, I feel like he should be better than where he's at now.
Blaze is on the crossroad of being a commentator, so you know where that goes, Gandhi.
Steady decline in skill.
I've seen him for years, and it's like he always gets like right there, and then he just falls apart. Like I don't know what it is. I don't want to say he chokes because that's not it. It's just maybe it's just inconsistent.
Yeah.
He should be doing a lot better than he is. That's all I gotta say.
That's all right. I'm pretty sure he'll be out there ready to rock and roll, and he's still rocking with it. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
What else we got, man?
Oh, I actually had a few questions. You guys were just going to town on that. Where are we?
We're able to carry conversations.
What the Bob on Twitter said, what maps would you guys like to be seen brought back to Gears 3?
Oh man, I'm so tired of that question. None.
Yeah, I don't want to see any maps get brought back. I've been saying this for close to maybe a little over a year and a half now. I want like this gray scale, green scale, like dead forest kind of thing, where my back's up against just like a redwood, and I up an A and slide into a dead log and get a nice chunk off. You know, like a dead forest map. I think it'd be pretty dope. You know. That's where I'm at. I've been thinking about it every time before I go to bed. A dead forest map. That'll be good.
Dead forest map.
Yeah.
You're up against a red pine and you up and down to a dead log.
Yeah.
You
Just taking cover in the logs and shit, you know, and it'd be like kind of like junglish themey. I don't know. That's where I'm at. But they have brought back a hell of a ton of maps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Caravella was asking, what are the top 5 players as of right now?
Oh, God.
Atmo, and Atmo.
I think Faith said it best before we started. If Infinity comes out and wins again, and they pretty much hand everyone's their asses, do we make a clause saying those 4 players can't play with each other?
Hey, you already know I'm down for it. If they come in and they make the money kind of thing, yeah, good on you, you know. But I mean, if they come in the game too and they take down number 1, I mean, how much pride is that going to hurt on everybody else saying that they? I mean, you can't catch them. That's basically what it's going to say. You cannot catch them. That's where they're playing at right now, above you.
They're just ahead of the game right now.
Yeah,
That's all there is to it.
Ahead of the game, this deep into the game, you know.
Well, it's not even that deep though. I mean, this is still real early. I mean, we're used to there not even being events yet.
I felt like when we started, because we were playing everything, we were ahead, and then as soon as we stopped playing just a little bit and teams got up, they started playing. Yeah, we're like the bottom half like right now because we're trying to get back to where we once were. And I think if you just take off a little bit of time, like you're gonna fall behind real fast. So if they're ahead and they keep playing the way they are, they're going to stay ahead. And it's just going to be a game of catch-up.
Pete Nub's in there telling Infinity they have to play with the HUDs off. Hey, I'm not against that, you know? We'll try to make it a little bit more difficult for Infinity.
Especially just for Atmo.
Yeah,
you're only allowed to play once every other round in execution. But you can play the whole King of the Hill games. That's fine. He's ridiculous. I don't understand how he's.
Am I
neither
supposed
here
to be
nor.
Will Smith? I see someone in here saying Will Smith. Is that supposed to be me?
You got any plans?
I kind of got my. What's the name of that movie where he's like fighting the vampires dudes? I can't. Yeah, I got that haircut. I'm him right now. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, Blade?
No. Not Blade.
I was like,
No.
You look nothing like Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I know. That's all I could think of.
Dude, where he's fighting.
I Am Legend. That's what it's called.
Oh, they're not vampires. What the?
Arctic is Legend. There you go, Captain Castle. Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes is like 10 shades darker than me.
Oh yeah, at least. Bring us back in.
Bring us back
Get
in.
us on track.
All right, Barbosa actually had a question. I think we touched this a little last week. He said, "You think competitive Gears will evolve into weapon start diversity like Hammer Retro, or like, do you ever think there will be sawed off, like legitimately used?"
I can go first, I guess. So, is he talking about like in just competitive settings, period?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so supposedly MLG wants all guns, all rifles, all shotguns, everything. So, if that is true, then yes, there will be a sawed-off. If that's not true, if they actually kind of work with us on this, because a lot of us do not want the sawed-off, just do not want the sawed-off, then it's viable. And then you have the Crossroads with Alpha, which is kind of like the competitive settings mixed with some rank, some throwback, some old school. and they have the sawed-off as a pickup. So, and that's what a lot of people said, if the sawed-off is going to be in the game, then make it a pickup. If the retro is going to be in the game, then make it a pickup. Um, and then the hammer burst, there's just so many, like, I don't mind the retro versus the hammer burst, but the hammer burst to me makes the game immobile. Like, you cannot move. And we talked about that last week. You can't move. And if you put all of our, the top players in the game, you give them a hammer burst, it's going to be everyone. It's going to be Mercy outside, teams playing Wine and the other team playing Bells 90% of the time. And that's going to be across every map. So imagine that on every single map because teams can't move because the hammer burst is too strong. Like, I just don't understand how we're supposed to work with that when we know, and it got a buff, we know that it just won't work. Like, if MLG wants to work with it, like there has to be some like either it's gonna be a pickup on the map where one player can grab each, or just let us have Lancer starts. Let us roll with the most popular gun that's used in the game anyway, Lancer, Shoddy. That works. You know what I'm saying? So
now KL, I mean, obviously, I know coming up through Gal 2 or whatever, liaison to the players, the pro circuit, etc. Do you see? I mean, obviously, like Hype Fest Station is a big deal. I mean, it's where the competitive play for Gears of War is right now, and I'm almost to say that we have led the guidelines and the tracks completely down to how the game can be played to its maximum potential. I mean, so do you think when other companies come in, they're like, oh, I mean, this is proven to what works? Are we on to something?
Nope.
Or, I mean, is it just going to be one of them things where they're going to come in and say, you guys had a fun run, defaults for everybody.
if MLG says defaults for everybody, the standard will be defaults for everybody. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
I don't think we're strong enough. We're not the fighting game community. Period.
Right.
We're
Agreed.
not strong enough to be as a cohesive enough to say, fuck MLG. And I don't honestly mean it, but we don't have that mentality. Like we're gonna do our own thing. If MLG says that, all the kids are going to be like, oh, it's MLG, we need to run with these rule settings, and that's the way it's going to be. And that's just, they set the precedent. We don't set the precedent. Now, if this were, if this were EVO or the fighting game community or any of those communities that I know they don't give a fuck about MLG, they'll do whatever they want to do, then I'd say yes, but we're not at that point yet.
Right. So I guess it comes down to they say, all defaults, this is how it's going to be. Are you going to make such a drastic, adjust, after playing the last couple months, how you've been playing kind of thing? I mean, do you think it'll, pretty much take the snow globe and shake it a little bit?
I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I think there'll be another rift, just like when we had we're going to use Hammer Burst, and then it switched to Lancer, and then we had 6 title updates, all that were just hideous for Gears 2. It's going to be the same way. So if we all start doing Lancer, and they say defaults for everybody, people are going to be like, we've been playing Lancer for 8 months, 6 months. I mean, settings are supposed to come out, announcements are supposed to be made this month. January 2012, MLG is supposed to drop the 4 circuit stops and this online thing and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're going to find out real soon. So, I think it's going to be a rift.
Yeah. Scott, what's up, dude?
I'm just soaking that all in, because he makes a really, really good point where the fact of the matter is I think even with as much as hype will progress, and now I mean I work for MLG, so I will have to choose my words slightly carefully, but even with hype just getting more and more prestige as it is, as soon as MLG were to pick it up, though, they could change it tenfold, and there will be those players who just I would be willing to say the majority of players would say, fuck it, fuck hype, we're going to focus on MLG. And we would see a lower attendance for hype, and that's just a fact. So, I mean, they could make the game just like ranked and make it 5v5. I mean, they won't do that, but make it like 4v4, with starting weapons. And people are going to play that. And that, to me, kind of, like, as soon as you said the fighting community, it kind of, like, upset me because it made sense. Because all of them are so closely knitted together, and they all care about the same thing. They want the most competitive. But for us, I don't see the same thing. and it's really just something like that for me.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Kenny?
All the cards are in MLG's hands. I mean, whatever they say is going to go. I mean, if say Hype wants to try and compete and do their own settings, because even if it is the best settings, that it is for Gears and it's going to help, just the game will look better. Just because that's what MLG is doing, you're going to lose a huge chunk of the community to go there. And I don't know. I just hope it doesn't happen. Because all
Yeah,
default, like, there's so many spots on maps, like, where default, like, why the hell is there a mulcher here? Nobody uses a mulcher. What are we gonna do with that?
yeah. There's a
I
lot of wasted
Right.
stuff, you know?
yeah, that's what I was going to
Scorcher?
say.
Who uses a scorcher?
I've actually seen it used a couple times, but
Yep. And
Oh.
the only reason I bring this up is just due to the fact that I mean I'm almost positive that all three of you and all 330 of you in there can agree that we're pretty much on the right path as far as the how the competitive play is really going to be laid down.
we can only hope.
We can only hope.
Yeah, I think that I will say that MLG has been probably more instrumental, and Epic has been more instrumental in getting the competitive community for Gears of War started better than they did on either of the other two titles. But I just think if they go default, or if the sawed-off is allowed, or just any of those weapons are allowed, then it's going to be a huge rift, and I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna. I think that'll really change the way people approach the game. I think people are going to be disinterested in playing. So I think anything is possible at this point.
Yeah.
I'm having nightmares of teams with 4 fucking hammer bursts and sawed-offs playing on gridlock for some reason because it was originally there and just not even move. Oh God, it's my nightmare. That's what it is. It's like you take ranked, which is just you want to smash your controller when a guy blasts you with a fucking sawed-off. And then you give him a hammer burst as well, and you put him up in the hammer burst tower, and he's just like firing down on you, and there's nothing you can do. There's nothing. And that, to me, is my nightmare.
So yeah, I think that ultimately, in order for it not to matter, I think the community needs to just get stronger as a group.
Yep.
Whether that be, we hold more hype events that are close knit with the top teams, and then do streams so people view numbers, or whatever. But I just don't think that we're strong enough yet.
No,
No.
I think the main thing is we also need to engage those casual players a little somehow, entice them. Like, give them default settings for Wingman. I would gladly cast Wingman. Wingman's a fucking blast to play. It's a blast to watch. Give them like their own little thing. You know
Actually,
what I mean? But don't leave the 4v4 alone.
I actually thought about implementing that at the next King of the Couch, whenever it is. Like, because doubles,
A Wingman tournament?
yes, because, okay, listen. I do doubles, or, Rod does doubles, whatever, and I can't stream it. I can't cast it. I fall asleep. 2v2 Gears is just not fun to watch. But if you do Wingman, 2v2, that's Gears. And that's actually interesting. And it can get crazy, and they'll still play it. That's Gears.
And you can't use a hammer burst. You can't. You get melted.
Boom. Thanks, Pete. Stole the words right out
Yeah,
of my mouth.
It doesn't?
I was thinking
Wingman
the
with no
exact same
spectator.
thing. I was thinking the exact same thing. Like, Wingman doesn't have a spectator, does it?
Why not?
Why
Why
should
would-
it?
'Cause
That doesn't make sense.
They changed it, right? It's only 8, so those 9th and 10th spots couldn't get in.
Well, way to go, Pete. Okay, never mind. 2v2v2. I don't know. Figure it out.
3 teams.
It was just an idea. I didn't even go that deep into it.
That's cool. You had like a bracket made.
Yeah, man. And for the most, for everybody's just joining in, all 300 of you. Pete Nubbs in here, Epic Games Senior Multiplayer Executive. We'll give you an executive title right now, or an engineer title, however you want it. So he's the main man. If you guys didn't know, Pete Nubb, everybody.
He pisses excellence.
That guy pisses fucking excellence.
I got one question. It's from Uproar again, because he's got some interesting questions. I'll give him that. How do you guys feel about females playing Gal competitively, and do you think a girl team can place top 10?
So hold on, before I even say that,
Yeah, but
before I
you
even
want to
say
just
that,
get us the
there
whole
are no
into this
girls.
entrapment.
There are no girls on this. So this is from a guy's perspective, right? So
Hmm.
first off, that's an unfair question because there's no girls to answer that question on this stream. So there's like no bias. I personally like girls playing. I think it's better for the community. They get involved. But what I dislike, and this goes for any players, not just girls, coaches, girls. I don't like fake girl coaches. I don't like the ones that go to play, but they don't go to play to compete. They go to play to look pretty and this whole sponsor thing. I'm not gonna name any teams that have done that in the past, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
And I think that's not. I think they're going for the wrong reasons. Like it's supposed to be going to compete. You're there to compete. You should be doing everything you can to become a better player. And I think sometimes that there's a distinct confusion between that at events.
Man, just like that from Team ZYN. No booth babes will be behind them, but ladies, feel free to don your jerseys and come and hang out with me in any commentator's booth. You guys feel free to.
I said
So
coaches.
does that mean? So does
I
that
said
mean
coaches.
you're for?
I'm
He
for.
had to tell his girl. He had to tell his girl. He was like, "Yo, baby, look, you know I love you."
She's not gonna be behind us coaching. There's a difference. That's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
I'm only busting balls.
Here's my thing. I used to, no, I still kind of do. I haven't done it in a while. Is this thing called a mismatch? It's where it's called the mismatch. It's four girls taking on competitive community, and they were like up 2-1 in like weekends. So they won out a whole weekend. They lost the next, and they won the following as well. So they can compete. The question is if they go to the event, will they actually focus on competing, like Arctic said, instead of doing other things?
Right.
Now, you
Right.
put it extremely nice, and I'm not going to take that away from you, but I'll leave it at what you said. But it's other recreational activities where I think they lose focus. Now, there are a couple who really go to compete, and we all know them, and they're all the best. We all keep them in a very high regard. They have a lot of respect in our eyes, and they also become our big fans. Like, I mean, there's a lot of in there, but there's also those ones who just come for really weird reasons, which I don't understand, but necessarily I won't get into it.
Yeah.
Kenny?
And then as far as I'm sorry to cut you off, but as far as the whole women's and Hype Fest Station, specifically for the ladies, Hype Fest Station will be hosting a women's 4v4 round robin competition, and those will be the same applicable rules as the general bracket, and the prize pool will be in direct relation to the amount of players that show up. So, like I said, not a biased thing, but we do know that there is a general need, for the female players. So please, bring your team out, come in, join the round robin, and if you want to jump into the actual, man up about it, you want an actual taste of the money, put the money where your mouth is and get out there and play. But, we know that there's that situation out there, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, there's no problem with girls going to compete at all. More power to them. It's just that there's this small group for every game that just they make it look bad for the rest. And it's like that with anything though, and that's the problem. Like if they're gonna go to play, go to play.
And I feel like, and that's the exact thing. If you're going to play, go to play. But I don't want to throw just girls into that group because of the other one. And I heard Sundance, Jareth, and what's the guy's name? No one likes him in the Halo community.
Wow.
No. No. That's not what I'm talking about.
Damn!
I love you,
Man.
Clap. I've never clapped since I was 12. I'm allowed to throw his name in there.
What is that guy? He thinks he's the pro coach.
Oh,
Halo-
Boss Nasty.
Boss Nasty, right.
Oh,
They
God.
were talking about coaches. And the point that they made was that they were kind of getting at was like, there's like what makes a good coach. And the discussion was really good. And it was the guys, and Sundance says this, the guys that he really dislikes about trying to be coaches. And this is where I kind of allude to the girls at, It's the guys that don't go there to coach. It's your buddy who wanted to get in that didn't want to pay for a spectator pass. Hey, he's our coach. Okay, he grabs a coach pass. He walks around and only shows it, and then as you guys play, he hands you the coach pass and goes walks around and does whatever he wants to do. That's what I'm talking about, and I think that there's that distinction between, are you going to coach? Are you going to help your team? Are you going to play? Are you going to compete? Are you going to do other stuff? So they're kind of in the same group with me, coaches and some other girls out there.
All right. Well, first, the video with Boss Nasty and Sundance is like forged by Boss Nasty. He didn't actually do an interview with Sundance. No.
Oh, it was just Sundance
That
and Jerry?
they did. They had two different things. She Boss Nasty had an interview with Lord Jarrett, but then he combined the videos so it looked like he was with Sundance. But that was just to clarify for you. Also, Boss Nasty clearly has mental disorders.
Yo.
I'm being honest. He's saying everyone in any form of competitive gaming is playing it wrong because the coaches should be dictating how the players move.
Right.
You're either stoned or you got weird shit, man. That's all I'm saying. That is it.
I think coaching is something we could talk about as well, going into kind of leading into that.
Mm-hmm.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm all for it. And Arctic, I feel like, or any three of you, I'll host the question here. I guess we'll start with Kenny because he's been quiet. What do you look for in a coach? Like, what is a Gears of War coach?
I will say greatest coach of all time, CDN. And he cannot take that the wrong way. That is just because of his personality. We had him to coach us in '07 Nationals when he was coaching Prophecy the whole year, and then at Nationals he coached us against Prophecy first round. And he just, he got us hype. He called everything out that we were missing, anything that he thought that the rest of the team didn't hear from a certain person. Made sure everybody was good, feeling great, just talking as much smack as he could to the other team to get them off their game. I mean, you got to be with your team. You can't just, I don't know, just be standing there behind them with a clipboard not doing anything.
Yeah, well, idle hands, coaches aren't necessary. I guess my personal opinion on them, let's take into an account someone that has just an incredible wealth of knowledge about the game. Can direct, can see what the other team is doing and know how to counter it and kind of put that information into his players' ears. In and out of rounds. A guy that's getting the timing down for knowing what time certain weapons are going to be coming up on the map. Or like I said, going back to that guy that has that in-depth knowledge of being like, yo, the time is now. Now is when you need to make that push. You need to go. This is how it's got to be done. So, I mean, a guy that really is aware of all the situations and can see how, every angle can be shut down, throughout the course of a round. So that's, I kind of dig that, for most of the coaches. That would be my take on them.
Mm-hmm.
So my ideal coach, I guess, and we've never had a coach because I feel like we kind of have coaches on our team, like Skyless. I feel like I kind of take the role as a coach. But if I had to pick the perfect coach, I would have like a set number of qualities. First off, they have to be someone that can motivate you, whether that be, to compete, to get on in practice, to run strats, the same way over and over and over again. But they have to be a motivator. CDN is a great motivator. And I don't necessarily feel like trash talking needs to be a big factor for every game. I think it works really well for Gears because that's always been part of the Gears community. So if you have a loudmouth coach, that might be good in some cases, but I think a lot of my cat just hopped in the way. I think a lot of that now is, people have kind of tuned that out now for the years. The guys have been playing for a long time, so it's not like it's going to bother them. But motivator, loud, has, like Faye said, has an incredible amount of knowledge about the game and the other team. So, they know strats, they know what the weapon pickup times, they know the complete player and team breakdowns, they know player and team weaknesses, just taking it that extra step. Now, here's the kicker for me, and I don't think any coach does that for any game that I know. Maybe Bravo, I don't know Bravo that well, but some of the more prolific coaches for the Halo side, but some of the guys that can mentor and be a positive influence on players outside of the game. I think that's a healthy extra step and going beyond. I don't think there's any coaches that do that on a consistent basis in gaming. So that's something I would like to see as like an extra, you know, that would make an excellent coach to me. So if you can mentor, if you can tell me about the game, tell me how to get better, and I think once a lot of the older guys finally retire, those would be the guys that would be great coaches. And we're not at that point yet, so we don't know what a great coach is.
Well, I also get first dibs on the people who retire, and I get to turn them into casters. Like space.
You know.
Gandhi.
Superstar casters we will have eventually, though.
Gandhi,
Yeah, we're going to be. I mean, obviously, I keep. You know, I expect this. I express this a lot. I'm not you know, Arctic does a phenomenal job of putting out content. You know, Kenny Crream Lawson, phenomenal job of keeping the crowd interested and putting out content, kind of thing. And then Scott, you got your deal. I love the whole online casting idea, but it's not really been so much of my scene. I guess now I would like to break into it just because I like gaming so much. And like I said, I don't like screaming at my webcam, you know, for the millions that hear quite yet. But I mean, when it comes down to live action shows, that's where I feel like I'm most comfortable at, you know, so that's why we get in there and make it happen.
Now, what were you going to say, Arctic?
I was going to say, you didn't say anything about coaches.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, duh.
I didn't know anything about a gear coach.
Well,
I didn't know anything.
I mean, you know,
At Hype 1, I didn't even see a gears coach.
Yeah, there were no. I was going to actually bring that up. Are there going to be any coaches at Hype? Because there were none at the
Fresh
first.
with Vision. Vera Prodigy's coaching the fathering.
Hell, I'll coach someone.
The face is coaching MBN, right, Nick?
Infinity has that like sponsor rep, right? Like I guess she's like a coach or something, isn't she? Who is that? You know what I'm talking about? DOA Serenity.
Oh
Like,
yeah. I know her. Yeah.
Who is she? She's like a sponsor or whatever. Right?
They're sponsored by Caliber. I don't know if she made that all happen. I have no idea, but
Okay. Well, I just whatever. I'll I'll coach Infinity.
That's my
You
boo.
can coach MN, and we'll see who comes out on top, Face.
Yeah, agreed.
I'll coach Fly Society for fun.
Oh no! I take it back. I want Fly Society.
Oh man, you just turned on him. Turned on him.
Fly Society is like my poster boys. I'm like Caution sends me a text. He's like, hey man, you trying to cast? And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to cast. Let's do this. You go and look. It's like FS verse pretty much.
So we got like it's not a 16-team turnout anymore. We have 32 bangers coming, which I'm really excited about. Where are those other 16 teams at? Has anybody caught whiff of them? You know, had the opportunities to scrim out of the 16s that that have qualified. There's got to be some pretty nice talent getting ready to ride up in here.
Well, you got Apex coming over from Europe.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the only team from Europe?
I think there's a few.
I think there's
yeah,
two
there's
Euro
like three.
teams coming.
Yeah, two or three.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two European teams.
That's interesting.
Then I mean, Primus. Nothing But Perfection. I believe they got a bid, correct?
Yeah, but they're not from. But they're East Coasters.
Yeah, they're East Coasters. They've been
And
in
they've
King of the
already had
Couch.
NBP. They already had the invite the first time around, didn't they?
Don't know about that.
I don't know.
Okay, so only one European team. That'll be Apex.
Huh.
That's another big deal too. I mean, obviously, last week on your guys' show you had the big European look at it kind of thing. Next week set up a European player
I actually had plans for this. I want to get Loco on the show, and we could talk about the whole European scene. I just have not found time to contact him with the holidays and stuff. I just slipped my mind, but I'll be on that this week.
Yeah,
And
with the European players, the last that I've heard about it is that if you tag a grenade on a wall, you're responsible to remove it off the wall before you can go about play. So that's where I'm at with European settings right now.
I don't understand that.
I don't know anything about it, so we better get a player up in here to learn this.
What the hell does that mean?
They have this rule in European play that nade tagging is illegal on walls or anything, and that if you accidentally tag a nade, it is your responsibility to then blow it up.
That's what I was looking for.
They're just like, you made a mistake, so your life, it's done today. Fuck you. The refs are like relevant. They're like waiting there. They're like, yo, press B up against that wall.
Hey, mate,
I
can't get the fuck
bodied
out
it.
until I blow the fucking grenade up.
All right, I have a question for Gandhi directly. It's from MLG Ruckus on Twitter. He said to
Yeah,
ask
right.
Gandhi if he plans to switch casting the gears if allowed, and what happened to his Gauss shows he did.
I still do them. I just don't have titles for my Gauss shows. Will I make the transfer to Gears? Yeah, no doubt about it.
So if it came down, Gears, Halo.
doesn't get picked up, I'm gonna sell right the fuck back out to Halo. To be honest, but my allegiance is with Gears. It's too convenient. It's too fun. The community is awesome. I get to put words in the face's mind every night when we play League of Legends. I have that connection here. In Halo, I talk to like one person, and that's Ghost, and he's jumping back before in between games as well. So I'm much more heavy on Gears,
Okay.
hands down.
Do these comments kind of bother you guys? Gears is dead, and I've seen people say that
Yeah.
here and there, like the competitive community is dead, the game is dead, this and that is dead. I can tell you guys this much from from what I have seen on YouTube, at least from the casual community. A lot of the people that played Call of Duty and played Battlefield, they're done. They're like, I played this like a bajillion times. Let me go back to Gears. That is happening frequently. I'm seeing it more and more and more and more as each week passes.
Mhm.
People are saying, "I'm tired of Call of Duty. I'm gonna hop back on Gears," or I'm tired of. And I don't really see that much with Battlefield, but it's like I'm coming back to Gears. I'm coming back to Gears. For the competitive community, the thing that's driving me up a wall when people say that is it's not that the competitive community is dying. It's that the people who are playing thought that they were going to come in, whoop everybody's ass, beat the shit, and then they realize, okay, I got to work at this. I got to do my due diligence. This isn't the same Gears 2. This isn't Gears 1. This is Gears 3. That's what I have to work with. And the teams that are doing that are still playing. I'm still getting a scrim every night, multiple scrims. I'm still getting hundreds of messages from people on Gears. The game is not dead. Period.
I
My
just.
box fills up so fast. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, you can go. I'll go next. I don't care.
I'm in the same boat. My box fills up so fast that sometimes I turn it on, I'm like 54 new scrim messages, WTF. So the game is definitely very well kicking. I saw somewhere in the stream that it's a tight knit group, and it very well may be, but it's an awfully big, small, tight knit group.
Yeah, I think there was just so many new games. Like even me, I stopped playing Gears for a little bit because, I mean, Modern Warfare 3 came out. I played that for a little bit just to play it and stream it because it's a moneymaker streaming wise. I'm just gonna be honest. And then I had Skyrim, which just ate up my life for a little bit, and then Battlefield and all that. And now Star Wars just destroyed me for 2 weeks when that dropped, and now I'm back to Gears. I think it's just it kind of looked like it died a little, but it definitely didn't. It's just I don't know. There's not a lot going on. I mean, Hype's the only event really going on. We're waiting. Everybody's waiting for MLG.
MLG.
Yeah,
Right.
I think.
You guys should be very well worried about Hype Festation right now because that is where it is at right now, boy.
Oh well, no, the Hypha
That's
Station.
it. That's the only thing I care about.
Yeah, Hypha Station's the only thing
Hype
going
is
on.
the shit.
Yeah, and
Hype is the platform right now.
Mhm.
Fact.
so, yeah,
And
When we open up, let's say for example, Hype Festation just gets completely out of fucking control, and picks LOL up or says, "Yo, Halo guys, can we get 16 of your dudes to come over, kind of thing?" Then what? I mean, are you telling me that these guys are gonna pack up and roll? I mean, it's like smelling blood in the water for these top tier players.
he's right. And the fact of the matter is worst case scenario is if MLG decides to not pick up Gears of War, which, whatever, it's not really fathomable at the time, but
That's happening.
if they
That
decide
better
to not to,
it better happen.
yeah, it has to. If they decide not to, I mean, Hype already their feet are in the water, man. Like they are ready. The wheel has turned for them. It only goes up from here. It only goes up from here for Hype.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I think the main thing, definitely to get across every competitive player's mind is, even if MLG doesn't pick it up, hype is just going to grow and grow, and then next thing you know, it is a premier league of console gaming for that. Because, I mean, if you're looking at it from a business standpoint in MLG shoes, you're like, oh, okay, well, League of Legends, as soon as it goes live, we have 100,000 concurrent. StarCraft 2, 170,000 concurrent. Console gaming.
7.
Look at you.
Fucking
70,
sort
you
that.
meant 70.
You know what I mean?
That's the
They're
truth,
like,
though.
Yep.
That's the truth.
Hmm.
That's the truth. That's what it's like. And, I think it's just a matter of, one, we need to get everybody on the same page with, hey, we got to get this out. We got to get more content out. You need to let people know that this stuff is being streamed. I just don't think people know that Gears is being streamed competitively because
No.
a ton of people ask. I mean, a ton of people ask, where can I find this? How can I get into competitive? Where are there more teams at? Who are the Insanes? Who is NBN? It's like people want to know. It's just people aren't, it's just like the path to get there is kind of like foggy for
Hmm.
console right now. So it's like, it's not dead.
No, we brought this up last week when we said like the top players need to be doing more. Like, I mean, you look at it like Twitch stream numbers. Like even right now, we're at like 300 viewers, and that's not even a lot at all for like a console, like or anything on Twitch. That's like nothing. Like Call of Duty, they're streaming. Their numbers are always at like a few thousand total people watching Call of Duty at any given time
Right.
on Twitch. And then Halo is still even bigger than Gears, but I think it's always a little under or around 1,000 maybe. I don't know. It depends when Ninja's streaming, to be honest, because he's like the only
yeah.
big Halo stream. And then you go Gears. It's what 300 maybe.
I've
Depends.
had some good nights.
Just, it,
We're at 300 right now.
it just depends. You know what I mean? I just and I don't know what the solution is. I know one of the things is getting everyone on the same page, which is just you, you guys know how hard it is to get all
Hmm.
these guys on the same page, and that's the
Impossible.
biggest issue that we're having right now is just getting people on the same page. It's so frustrating. But man, the game is just not dead. It's definitely
It's not.
not
I
dead.
mean, hey, look, we had Yuli couldn't make it on the show tonight. I tweet out, "Who wants to be on Active Reload?"
And you got a numerous amount of responses, man. And unfortunately, we can
Yeah,
only have four
it was
slots.
so many responses. I just said, "Fuck it, we're just gonna do it with us four."
Yeah.
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 But I guess that's we've been hammering for the last hour and a half right now off the top of the head, you know.
Yeah, this this
Um,
this week's show was kind of like just thrown together. Like Yuli couldn't make it last second. I was dead all weekend. And then today I wake up and I'm like, holy shit, I got the show. I gotta get home. I gotta pack all this in the car, drive across Long Island to PA. Ugh.
um, Yo, Arctic, big question for you. And since you are Arctic, Mr. YouTube himself kind of thing for the premier Gears of War content, my question is did you have any do you have a team behind you that's helping you edit, clip, and copy all these things? I mean, is it you upgrading, your own personal blog kind of? Are you self-taught in how to do everything you need to do to get it all up there kind of thing, to provide content to the people kind of thing? Because, I mean, that's really what it comes down to. How
I
difficult was it for you to jump into YouTube and be like, okay, I'm doing this?
So, man, I'll try to keep it short. I'll try to keep it short, relatively short. This started literally. I mean, I had my YouTube account for like 5 years, so it's been a progress. It's a progression. I started off with shitty ass equipment, just awful equipment, like the worst possible. Doing Windows Movie Maker, taking 5 hours to split a video until I taught myself. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And then it started getting a little bit better. And at the time, I was just like I had a, how this is like before capture cards were inexpensive. So I had like an over-the-shoulder camera. And it's just like you got to do whatever you can do, and teach yourself until you can get to a point where I'm at right now. So you fast forward from 5 years ago to now, my blog, I started at the end of 2009, and that year 2010. I was like, I'm gonna do a blog post every single day of the year. So that's just what I did. So I wrote everything, did all that by myself. YouTube, same way, self-taught. Um, and it's just a matter of just having that will to be like, hey, I want to do this. I want to, and I said this on the stream. I want to help people, and that's the way I did it. I self-taught myself. I think the biggest difference is like I can kind of articulate myself well enough to make a sound argument or point so that people can understand. But I, if you want to do it, if you have the passion to do it, you can teach yourself how to use basic editing programs. You can start a blog for free. You can do anything you want, pretty much. I mean, it's just a matter of whether or not you can muster it up.
And is there any, like, as of right now, any programs that you would jump into to host the blog or anything? Like, where are your go-to short links besides for YouTube? How else do you host? And what sites do you go into, or how are you using it?
Um, what am I using? I'm using WordPress right now. So the WordPress, I'm pretty sure they have like a free one that you can use, or Blogger, which is Google's, I think. So you can use WordPress or Blogspot, I think is what it's called. You can do those both for free, or you can buy your own hosting on like GoDaddy or whatever. And then as far as the YouTube stuff goes, and the editing, I'm using Adobe Premiere, CS 5.1. I'll probably have to put it in the chat. Yeah, I'm using Adobe Premiere, i7 processor. So, and I mean the computer app is just nasty. So I can edit videos in a matter of minutes.
Nice. All right. Anyway, that was just the questions I wanted to jump off at you, kind of thing. Just because you're into it, boy. You're in the thick of the shit right now, as far as content goes. So
Yeah.
it's pretty neat.
Any last things that you guys want to talk about?
Scott, what's on your mind?
Hanging out. Just
Oh dear.
basking in the
You better come up with something fucking smart to say right now before I get all up and down your shit, boy.
Hey, I don't want to. You can't come here and yell at me when I can't even fucking pry a cast out of you.
Did we answer the top 5 players question?
Yeah, we did, and you said Atmo,
And that was it. We all three said the same thing. I'm gonna have to go with Crream, Arctic, DeFace, Yuli, and Atmo. That's my top 5.
Damn. In that particular order too? Perfect. I don't know if I have quite a top 5 player. I love the way Nick Merckx plays, even though we don't see eye to eye as far as how things should be ran, kind of thing. But I mean, obviously, who am I? That guy gets the fucking job done, boy. I like seeing Caution play. Caution's he's a fun dude, man. I mean, he gets it in. He's either on or he's off. I enjoy that. My cupcakes out there, Carson. I know you're rocking on the following right now, but if I wanted you, I'd just be like, yo, Carson, here's your spot right here. You ready to play? Scholas's gameplay is pretty good, and then I guess if there were to be a 5, I just want a complete underdog. But I mean, no underdogs we've already seen. Like everybody's expecting, like, Nasty or Strangulate kind of thing, or Yogurt. I guess that's a full team kind of. Good on you. I hope you come out and bang. But I really want to see some kid come out and fucking bang. You know what I'm saying? Like a whoa kid. I want to hear something about somebody that nobody's ever heard about and been like, damn, that kid really was a hitter this weekend, but the rest of his team fucking sucked.
Oh, all right. So my serious, legit one, obviously one I'm not joking about. Atmo was nasty. I have to go with nasty. Like, he surprised me. Like, I think he's top 5. I think he might be like around 5. And this is no particular order, but I think he's around one of the top players in the game right now. That dude is sick. Like, I was really surprised at how good he is. Let me try. I'm trying to think of who else we played, who else I've seen play. I like Nick. He's what I like most about Nick is, like, at any given time, he could do a lot of different things. And he just like a really good overall player. So I like Nick. And then tried and true, man, Killer.
Yeah.
He is at any given time, Killer could go bonkers. And I felt like on Gears 2, him and Atmo were the two best players in Gears 2. And I think that on Gears 3, I don't know what his consistency is like now, but if he plays like he did, he'll definitely be up there, 1-2 again. And then my fifth, I don't know. There's too many people I think that could be around that area.
Yeah, no, there really is. Now that I'm looking at the chat right now, guys, I mean, there is just names flooding in the chat box right now. I'm like, damn, I forgot about that.
Seen a
team.
lot
And
of
then when you
flames.
yeah, like when you mentioned a guy like Killer kind of thing, it's like, damn, I forgot how
Killer?
bad he fucking
Yeah.
tuned me up kind
Killer's
of thing.
nasty.
But then after the whole team deceit shit happens, you kind of stop hearing about those guys kind of thing because they're
Right.
not exactly posted in the limelight, you know?
I was surprised no one said Wildy. I think Wildy floats around in the top 10 in this game. And Wildy is sick.
Well,
He's really, really good.
he was sick at Gears 2, though. I mean, it's not like a surprise. Like, he's like one of those players, like top 10, like you said. I don't know. I haven't seen him on, what team is he on now?
Insanes.
Insane. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Insane. That's right.
Oh,
was like,
yeah,
he's
just
on
the
Insane?
Insanes. You're something else, Arctic.
Damn. So I guess I pretty much raffled it all down, huh?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Anything else? Anything else going out there on the stream kind of thing? Anything you want to hear about or just anything that's been bothering you guys lately? Last chance to get it all in.
Face loves this. Face just wants to stay here and talk. He's like,
I
Let's
love
do-
this. I
Come
mean,
with
come on. If we come back with some written material, you know, I want to have like a bad mouth section, and I want to take some live calls right now, you know. But we've been.
Don't
banging
worry.
it.
Next
Maybe
week we'll do all
bad.
that.
Please.
Like the
You're making
whole
us
show.
wing it.
Hey,
I can
Yeah.
talk about
But
it.
listen,
I can
don't
talk
forget,
about
we
a
have
bunch of
Life
stuff.
Station.
I'm
You're
not
not
supposed to
here.
be the only one.
I can talk about a bunch of stuff from non-competitive gears because, I get all those flooded questions.
Well, yeah, we could easily talk about that, but we don't want to do too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah. We hit our hour 35.
Yeah, and then have another week like this come by, and I'm like, well, crap, what didn't we cover last week? Because we were just in the zone talking about everything.
Yo, Kenny, I'm going to shave my exact same chin hair like you, and I'm going to spike my hair up in the front. I'm gonna
Holy
be
shit!
clean.
You're
I'm
gonna
doing
get
it next week too. Yo, KO, can you grow your hair out that long in a week?
No. I just
No.
got
Look,
cut.
Kenny,
It's cool. You could get a weave, bro. Imagine
No.
just like a blonde weave on you like this. That'd be crazy.
No. It was as long as it
Yeah,
got. I grew my hair out for the whole month of December, and that was as long as it got on pretty much the last show.
Yeah, I'm realizing it the hard way how long it takes to grow out hair.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we're going to wrap it up now. I mean, any shout-outs you guys want to do? Go around.
Ah, y'all suck. We out.
I'll
Just
just
kidding. What do we
throw
got?
up a heart to everyone who watched and everyone who is doing anything with Gears of War. You guys rule. That's it.
You already know. Look, I'm going to jump on hypefestation.com. If you're a Gears of War player, make sure to check it out. It is going to be fan-fucking-tastic coming up here next month. I'm promising a huge show. I'm promising a huge show. It's going to be fucking outstanding. There's going to be so many teams. It's going to be big. It's going to be good. Make sure to jump into it. Kona's Corner, I know you're out there. Beyond Gaming, my main man's over there. Who else we got? If you're out there and you're a European player, you will be here next week kind of thing because, boy, do we got some bones to pick with you. Got to get this rumor I keep hearing out and in the air. Other than that, it's it.
Who's going
Yeah.
next?
Oh,
Me?
you go next, yeah.
So I got first off, shout out to all my guys on ZYN, amazing. Shout out to Dotter. Dude is amazing for helping us out, filling in for us, and we'll see where we go at Hype. Shout out to Active Reload for having me on the show again. Kenny, thank you. You guys are always fantastic. Scott and Face, man, you cracking me up all the time. Shout out to everybody that watched today, and everyone that supports, Razor, supports our team. Guys, make it all worth it.
I just want.
Is this when you throw on them Razor hats right now, KO? Is that when it happens?
He did that last week.
I did it last week.
I was gonna throw the plug out there.
Roasted.
Team Razor.
I just want to, give a shout out to, like what Scott did. Everybody watching, I want to make this show bigger. I just want to make all gears bigger. I want to see this next week hit 1,000. It can be done. I know it can. The word needs to get out more. It needs to be spread around like wildfire. And all the pro players who I know you are not spreading the word about everything Big Gears of War, stop slacking and get your jobs done. Because, I mean, they're the ones that complain that there's not enough going on, but then they're the ones not doing anything.
Oh, you know what? Sorry, I know we're wrapping the show up real quick, but do you think Hypefestation should be rendering a pro title?
So
We'll save it. This is
I really wish you didn't bring that up right now.
Okay, my bad.
We'll cover that next week.
CTL. Oh, I guess those are all the things we're gonna have to be talking about next week then.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll do that next week. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next week at the same time, Monday, 9 p.m.